President Trump speaking out about those leaked transcripts of his phone calls with leaders of Australia and Mexico. He says, quote, Obama people gave news organizations details of his tense talks. Mr. Trump says his administration is searching for the leakers and that any Obama holdovers serving on his White House and national security staff are being replaced. The president saying this to Fox News about the transcripts. It's a disgrace that they leaked because it's very much against our country. It's a very dangerous thing for this country. Charlie Hurt, he has been addressing this for some time, initially saying, hey, I have to have these very tough, serious conversations. To have them leaked, what do you make of his response?
Well, I know that some people, partisans, are trying to say, well, it has to be somebody within the administration. It's got to be some of the infighting going on in the White House. There is no evidence of that, and I also find it very hard to believe. But I do think that, it's I think one of the more appealing things that is going on right now is that you have bureaucrats all around Washington going crazy. They're losing their minds, and
you like that?
I love it, and I think, I don't know where the leaks are coming from either, but the State Department does coordinate these phone calls. They're the first. That's the first place I initially figured that the leaks were coming from. But bureaucrats, jumping around with their hair on fire in Washington.
And
great.
One of those conversations was with the Mexican president, and Donald Trump did talk about this very good relationship that they have. Let's listen to it.
We have to do something about the cartels. I did talk to him about it. I want to help him with it. I think he's a very good man. We have a very good relationship, as you probably know. He seemed very willing to get help from us because he has got a problem.
Got a problem.
And it's a real problem for us.
Meghan?
Well, going off of the leakers, he's obviously going to say something different on television than what is alleged in some of these things coming out. My take on this is that it's a classic case of when you have a campaign of a small group of loyalists you keep around you, ride or die. I respect that. I think it's part of the reason why he actually got elected president. But being president, you can't do it with such a small group of people. If I were him, I would smoke these people out immediately, find them, get rid of them. Leakers are cancers. They will hurt them. They will hurt their candidate. I don't like it. I don't agree with it. They should be fired immediately. I think if you join the administration, and I actually would point to probably people maybe working in the RNC that maybe don't ideologically, if I had to guess, I have no proof of that. And if you're going to work for this administration and you're going to team up with the principal, you have to back it 100%. And if you have problems with it, leave.
Is that the way to go? Just get him out of there, Kennedy?
Yeah, operate by total paranoia. That's great. Let's go back to a Nixonian era. No, I think again we're in a postmodern world, and I think there's so many people who have incentive to get into the White House, to get into the RNC, to serve their various other masters, which unfortunately for the president are not this administration, because you have people in both parties who have no idea what's going on. There's so much chaos, and they are not necessarily loyal to this president.
I'm sorry, they're not being paranoid if there's leaks. There are leak problems they have right now. It's not paranoia. It's happening.
Yeah, but
so I don't think they're
paranoid. If you think that every single person is capable of leaking something, are you going to fire everyone?
I don't think it's every single person. I think they have a leak problem, and it seems like President Trump knows where they're coming from. And I think if you're working for a principal candidate, I'm not talking about the media. I'm not talking about people at different positions in different stations. I'm talking about if you're working in the White House under a principal, you should support him or her 100%, and you shouldn't be leaking things out to the media. It's what causes a lot of problems, a lot of stripes, a lot of chaos. And I don't necessarily think all the blame
there are a lot of people who don't necessarily adhere to that brand of thinking, and they do have a hacker mentality. They're out for themselves. They know that there's money to be made. There is favor to be curried by giving the sort of information, and even the press is surprised.
Real quick, I just want to say something about those people who feel like the leaks are serving us by some greater purpose, because they call these people whistleblowers.
Yeah.
And so I looked up the actual definition of a whistleblower. It's somebody who has or reports insider knowledge of illegal activities. Having or not having a terse conversation with the leader of Australia is not an illegal activity. So, I see kind of a heroism complex that people are trying to make about these leaks. They're untenable.
But
they
you
can
kind
be
of said that, Charlie, by saying
what the topic is
that
about.
this is causing chaos in Washington, and you love it.
Yeah, and I also don't think it actually really hurts Donald Trump all that much. I mean, the guy thrives.
What if they leak something about how he protects himself in the White House?
Well, no, that would be an entirely, to me, a different thing. That would be that's national security. But in terms of, you know, I mean, is it really that much of a newsflash that he is having brusque conversations with foreign leaders?
With Australia,
enough.
yes. With Australia, it was very surprising for a lot of people.
Apparently it was, because it led like all the news, you know, for a day.
Well,
for
that's
a minute in
people
this
can't
news
get enough
cycle.
of this stuff, but I don't think most people really care that much.
I think I think people care a lot, and I think these leaks are, as you know, dominating the narrative on many news organizations and news cycles. And again, maybe there are people on the couch that think it's good. I think it's hurting.
I don't think it's necessarily good. I just think it's the way it is. I think we are in a different world. This is a brave new world, some would say, but we haven't seen not only an administration like this, but a reaction to it, people on the inside and the outside.
Well, their comment was that it was paranoid. It's happening. It's not. I mean, what's the old adage? You're not crazy if they're after you. I mean, you're saying that he's being paranoid. He's not being paranoid. They have a leak problem in the White House right now,
which will feed into paranoia.
Healthy disagreement on the couch right now. You're not the only one outnumbered right now.
Hey, there you go.